Welcome to Phazon Labs. We are the internet's premier Metroid Futurist podcast, powered by the World 1-1 Podcast Network. I am, as always, your host, Larry the Bearded Wonder. And joining me is my fellow lab rat, Michael, recently thawed out from the Ice Beam Experiment Brown.
Yeah, it is pretty fucking cold. I don't like it.
Yeah, do you like what my ice spreader did to your driveway?
Yeah, I'll kill your whole family.
And every week we get together in the lab and we bang our rocks together and pour unlabeled chemicals into various sized beakers filled with different colored. What?
You didn't mention chemicals. I'm looking forward.
I may not have mentioned it, but you still signed on it on your employment contract.
I can't argue with that.
And we come up.
I'm getting paid.
Yeah, you're getting paid with the gift of my presence.
Ugh. Well, at least it means you're not fucking calling me.
And every week we come up with a new idea for a Metroid game that sadly we'll probably never get to play, but we like to have fun thinking about. So this week, Michael brings us his pitch, and then we workshop it, we have some fun with it, and we put a pretty little bow on it, and we send you on your way for the rest of the week. So, what you got, Michael?
All right. I only have a vague idea so far, but do you remember the arcade twin-stick shooter Total Carnage?
Yeah.
Give me that. Like, with all the strange little creatures in hordes, like, this is ripe for something like this. So I'm thinking an overhead isometric view. The vast majority of the abilities you get throughout the Metroid series would translate relatively well to something like this. Platforming would take a backseat to just surviving the hordes.
Yeah, it's basically like an arcadey horde mode.
Yeah, I'm thinking twin-stick shooter, basically.
Mm-hmm. Like a la Robotron X.
I have no idea what that is.
Oh, old arcade twin-stick shooter. Or like Smash TV.
I do remember Smash TV.
Yeah, same principle.
I miss arcades, man.
Amen. Dude, you gotta come with us sometime to the one in Chicago. Galloping Ghost is amazing.
That would be fucking fantastic, actually.
You'd flip your shit. It's like one of the biggest arcades in the country.
Yes.
So, it's like a whole 2 hours away from us. But, so, are we going pure arcade and just going, here's the thing? Or do we want to try and wrap a story around this?
Oh, no, we definitely want to wrap a story. This is Metroid, man. We have to.
Okay.
Because even the first one that had, minimal memory still had a fucking story involved.
True.
So I think it's blatantly necessary to keep it as part of. Like, I think without a story, it wouldn't feel like Metroid.
This is true. I mean, granted, we've gotten to a couple that didn't really have a story, but we're still fun all the same.
Which one?
Like the dating simulator.
Oh yeah. There's a story to that.
Sorta. So is this a meta thing where she recognizes that she's been dropped into some weird arcade universe and she's just surviving a horde mode that she's being subjected to by some great cosmic entity?
No,
or
I was initially thinking the Federation basically paid her to go, hey, go handle this. And then when she gets there, she finds out it's way bigger infestation than they told her.
I kind of like the idea that if you get, when you get close enough to the planet at the beginning of the game to land on it, the entire surface is like physically moving because it's just jammed full of swarms of creatures.
Yes.
Like you can't actually see solid ground.
Yeah.
You wanted to get real frisky with it, down the line, you could introduce a mechanic where she's essentially backed up against a cliff face. So she's only got, three walls that she can push up against. She'll fall off the cliff into an abyss full of more horrible creatures.
I like it.
Actually, You know what would be kind of a neat idea to play with this? You could probably like mix it in as bonus levels, a la, Sonic the Hedgehog. But if, say, occasionally, she did actually fall into a big pit, and you get a side scroll special level where you're having to like space and wall jump your way out of this pit while there's, creatures literally just falling off the cliff that are trying to, hurt you as you're trying to climb up, and they're falling down, and you've got to navigate around that with your space and your wall jump just to try and get back up.
That would be easy. Yeah, that would work.
Yeah. This is an arcadey thing that I would definitely play.
Yeah.
So this almost has the fingerprints or the DNA of Metroid Prime Pinball a little.
Oh yeah, I could definitely see that. And as I
God,
said,
we need another one of those.
Yeah, no shit.
That'd be nice.
Updated with what they can do. Ah! Chair just tried to drop me. It's like, get up, fatty.
Didn't you know that was one of the other projects we've been working on in the labs, is sentient chairs that can eject you when you've been sitting for too long?
I don't like you anymore.
Phazon Labs is a subsidiary of Aperture Science, owned by Cave Johnson.
We're no longer.
What ethics? So, just remember, they never asked, should we? Only can we.
Well, yeah, that's what science is for.
Exactly. I want that on a shirt. So,
with a picture of Jeff Goldblum.
Definitely. So, part of me thinks it'd be kind of cool. Like, you could actually progress towards an end game here if, say, periodically, if you're surviving long enough, the planet is unstable, and there's random quakes that shatter the floor that you're on, and you keep falling deeper and deeper down into this planet, and the hordes get worse and worse because not only are they like coming in from the cave systems that you're falling into, but they're also falling in from levels above you now, and eventually you get to like the swarm heart of the planet.
Okay, what if the planet itself is a living creature, and these things that you're fighting are all like basically lice?
Yeah, like little microbial parts of its
or almost like white blood cells.
Right. I was just gonna say, like, you're trying to, like, the planet's trying to fight you off as an infection.
Yeah.
I can get behind that. I think the only thing that gets lost here, and maybe it's just my head being momentarily stuck, is I'm like, it definitely takes the exploratory element out, and I'm trying to see if there's a decent way to mix that with this genre.
There's a very easy way to fix that. Have you played Horde?
No.
You really should. It's a roguelite that you can tell the people that did Hades took a lot of cues from Children of Morta.
Okay.
It's really well done. But literally, if we mix that whole concept into what we're doing here, honestly, that works almost better than just a straight up Total Carnage ripoff. Yeah, because as I said, like, it's everything. Every area you go into is a roguelike, but literally, it's just hordes of enemies coming at you, and at first, especially, the whole trick is just to survive. They'd have to tweak it a little bit, because unless they could find a way to where, like, death doesn't mean as much, like a la like they did in Hades or any other roguelike, where there's a valid reason why you have to keep doing the runs until you die. Because I can't find a way to make that make sense within the Metroid universe.
Right. Huh. I will say, I'll tell you, this one just popped in my head, and now I don't think I can get rid of it. The music that's playing in my head for this, like modern day arcade twin stick is essentially Metroid Metal. Like it's got to be sped up and heavy and intense and just blood pumping, heart pounding, fucking Metroid Metal.
I think it.
Come on, Samus.
The more enemies you're facing, it needs to crescendo more.
Right, like if you could build in a dynamic music system, that'd be cool as shit.
Oh yeah, and like the music is slow and subdued. What the fuck was that? The music is slow and subdued when there's nothing going on. But like once the enemies start coming in, it keeps picking up and keeps picking up. How the fuck's that so loud right now?
No, I dig this. I would play this. This almost feels like it borders on a good like $15 indie download title.
Yes. Seriously, you'd need to play Children of Morta and Hades.
Well, Hades I've got. I just haven't had a chance to dip into yet.
Trust me, you need to dip into it. Hades is one of the best games I've played in a very long time.
Yeah. It's on the list, trust me.
But as I said, I bought Children of Morta for PlayStation 4 on a whim because I happened to find it on sale for like $8. Like physical. So I'm like, I don't know what the fuck it is, but for $8, sure, because I've heard the name a few times. And a couple of months ago, I was like, I got nothing else going on. Let me try this, and I fell in love with it.
Okay. Ooh! I've had an idea. So instead of just dropping levels every time you finally survive long enough, instead the swarm horde is so thick that it's an accomplishment just to like clear out enough to physically move your character from where she starts to like an exit on each of the walls. And you essentially do each level with a layout kind of like Binding of Isaac, where it's randomly generated each time, and you're trying to find essentially the room at the end of this randomized stack of levels that has the weak floor, and when you get in there, the whole thing quakes and the floor gives out, and you go down another level.
I like it. I think we should introduce a mechanic where all her different cannons that she get don't overlap. She can only overlap 2 at a time, which adds a little bit more strategy to what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because imagine the concept of this wall of enemies coming at you, and you use the ice beam to freeze them all. Suddenly you can't shoot past them.
Right.
So like that would cause issues. Unless you add the wave beam on top of it.
Your plasma beam would cut all the way through, like a line all the way through, but never wide enough to actually get through. The spacer will cut a line wide enough to get through, but it won't. It'll only go like one creature layer deep.
Yes, and then ending bonus for when you beat the game. If you beat it well enough with enough time or whatever, you get to play through the game with the Metroid suit.
Yeah,
you're just literally evaporating enemies. Like, because everybody loves God mode.
Like, really, you could totally take the Binding of Isaac route with that too, and you could eventually unlock each different suit from throughout the series to play with, and they each have a different like perk, but also a different downfall.
Yeah, I like it.
This could be a lot of fun. You could totally throw in some great, top-down Zelda-style, boss fights too.
Yeah.
Where it's all about figuring out the right beam combination that that works against it.
Or power bombs, or because you still obviously get all your missiles and super missiles and shit like that too. Which I think the missile blast and the super missile blast should be an area effect that clears out a space.
No, that'd work. This could be a ton of fun.
Yeah.
To echo what you said earlier, I miss arcades.
I do too.
So, this is a little title I would play. I think we've done a great job here. I'm trying to think of who would be good to make this, and I know as much of like some of the design elements we're pulling from like Binding of Isaac. I don't feel like this is Edmund McMillan's wheelhouse, though. This is more a company that used to do this kind of thing in the arcade back in the 16-bit days. I'm trying to think of who would be good for this kind of thing. I don't know. Definitely dig up some of the people that did, Robotron and Total Carnage and Smash TV. And
I don't know. As I said, like I forget what company made Children of Morta or the people that made Hades, but this
Hades was Supergiant.
Oh yeah. This would be way more intense than that, but I think they could do it justice still.
Right. There we go. We'll get Supergiant to do it. They make damn good looking top-down games.
Yeah.
And it should look good. So, what do we call it? I've got an idea, but I'm curious if you do first.
I do not.
Nothing?
Nothing.
Let's call it Metroid Horde.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Or you could go a little deeper with it, and since you're trying to get to the heart of this, Horde Swarm planet, you call it Metroid Heart of the Swarm. But Horde has such a punchy feel to it.
Yeah, honestly, I think that's our best bet.
I would concur. All lab results come back positive on that one. So, I think we've got it. We've made Metroid Horde. Now we have to go bang on the doors of Supergiant Games and be like, "Hey guys, we need you to make this."
Yes.
We'll give Sakamoto a break this week.
Oh, he still needs to be involved.
Oh yeah. So that and we could get Gunpei involved, but that involves finishing the other lab experiment we have going, but I may have already said too much.
Yes.
So we won't talk about Project Lazarus yet. So, well, in that case, I want to say thank you to my lab partner Michael for coming and hanging out with me this week and having some fun. And thank you to everybody that tuned in this week and for putting up with our shenanigans. And we'll be back next week with more shenanigans here on Phazon Labs, powered by the World 1-1 podcast. Press start to engage your mind. See you next mission. Peace!
Science!